this begins, if you could just subscribe, tap the bell, hit all notifications if you want more juicy, spilling the tea, gossip story times like this one, which is my specialty. I serve it piping hot, and it's been a while, so I thought I'd serve you a story that happened to me. We're gonna say a little while ago. I have a website called Bomboni.com where you can sign up for your own services. Yes, I offer services like hour-long tarot readings. I just did a couple of them actually this morning. Shout out to Grace and Falkirk. Thank you, Grace and Falkirk, for booking hour-long readings. If you book a 30-minute or longer session with me, I will shout your first name out in the beginning of a video. So thank you for that. Alright, that funding goes a long way to help me continue making daily videos for you, daily content, buying stuff for videos, and all of the like. So it really means a lot to me, and so thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. So what are we waiting for? Let us begin spilling the juicy story time tea. So I actually wasn't gonna do this video because I was like, overall it wasn't like a bad experience, it just didn't go right. And when something doesn't go right, I talk about it, and that's just kind of like, I share my life online, you know, that's what I'm committed to doing, and it's a huge part. So if someone chooses to be in my life, you know, it's not for everyone, right? But I always respect privacy, and so you'll never know who these people are. And I've gotten pretty good at that, keeping people anonymous, having done this for years. So, alright. So this person, we're gonna call them Franklin. I don't know why I thought of that name out of the top of my head. Frank. We're gonna call them Franklin. And they have a name that's like different obviously than Franklin, but like I can't say it, but we always joke about this name because literally everyone has this name. Like, it's one of those common names that like you go to like a workplace and there'll be 5 people with that name. Okay, I kid you not. So we joke about it, like imagining like a really, really old man having that name and saying like, "Hi, my name is," and they saying that name, and like we are hysterical every time we joke about it. So already I couldn't take this person that seriously as a date because of their name. And it's kind of funny because I manifested it so fast. And to the point where I actually met like 2 people with that name at the same time, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I became one of those people who like really started kind of like going on dates with like multiple people at the same time. Same but different. Like, not really same, but like I refuse to go on like 2 dates in the same day or 3 dates in the same day. Like, I will not take it that far. Like, you know, go to lunch at, I don't know, the Cheesecake Factory with one man, and then dinner at, I don't know, the Red Lobster with another. No, okay, that's not for me. But like at the same time, like I'll talk at the same time, but like I won't necessarily do stuff at the same time, right? And I feel like that's a faster way of getting where you want to go. You know, it just depends if you have any goals. I particularly don't really necessarily have any goals in love or relationships. I just am nowadays, because I realized when I almost got married that like it's not for me, and I don't actually want to get married, and that kind of surprised me. But I've not really, because I was always kind of I'm just terrified of committing to someone that will not make me happy overall, and I will feel like I have wasted my time. So I would rather have multiple options for me and be happy and go on beautiful, amazing dinner dates than, you know, being with one person. You ever hear, sometimes your man wants lemon cake, sometimes your man wants chocolate cake tonight. Like, you know, like to have lemon cake every night. No, okay. And I learned learned that through experience and maturity. Like, it took a level of maturity for me, like, to really accept that, because, you know, I, for the longest time, felt like I had to be like everyone else and conform, and but without feeling like an H-O-E. You know, like, because I have been, with white, not nearly as much as a lot of people, but quite a handful, let's say. In fact, it's more than a handful, because it's more than even the 10 fingers on my hands. Number of people. But, you know, I still feel like that's nothing compared to, what I hear. Let's put it that way. Nowhere near as, like, no, okay, no. So I don't feel like a H-O, so, yeah, but, I'm very careful who I'm with, for obvious reasons. I'm not trying to catch anything, God forbid, knock on wood. So I just don't go do that. I'm not that type of person. I'll never, what people call, quote unquote, put out on the first date. No, not me, honey. Okay, never have I, never will I. Maybe once when I was like 19, but that was about it. Like, a big mistake. That was actually, I had no choice, literally. Anyway, that horrible experience. To this day, I still can't get over it, partially. But, so moving on, so this was actually my first true date, like, I would call, like, going on a date. And I don't know why it took so long for me to go on my first, because, like, I've obviously been on dates, but it's more like with people I've gotten to know after several times meeting up with them. Like, but, like, to meet up with someone the very first time and go to lunch with them and date, this was my first one. And so, this is the person I will talk about with this video, because I used to always just either go to their house and meet up and hang out. Like, it's not a date, right? Like, and I didn't even have the intention to go on a date. I'll talk about it in a second. Because I have no interest in being in a relationship right now, okay? And so, like, this took me back a little bit, and it was a little bit of a shock. So I guess I can start from there. So this person had worn something in one of their pictures that caught my attention, and again, anonymity, I won't go into much specifics here, but I have addressed it to them and said, oh, I believe that too. I believe in that particular thing too, that you do. And so, basically, that really is where it started. We didn't go deep in a conversation about that subject matter in particular. However, I just felt drawn to them. You can tell even through a picture right away, almost automatically, if this is going to be something that is possible. Not necessarily if it's going to be something that works out. I'm never really that good at seeing that about myself. I can see it through others doing tarot cards, but, like, never myself. I'm always a hot mess. So, and, you know, if you don't have a goal in mind, you'll never get it, right? So I don't really have any goals when it comes to love. I just like to love. I love dates because I like to talk to new people and get to know them. I like to ask a lot of questions, and I'm not, like, shy or anxious as I used to be. I don't have that, like, social anxiety like I used to anymore. I can easily approach some, like, no issues anymore. But like, I went on, like, 3 dates recently. No nervousness. Like, again, I don't even consider them dates. It was just meeting others, but like no, not a slight ounce, like even driving there on the way there, no hesitancy to cancel plans, go, but nothing like that of the sort. So like after not having dated like a couple years, that was a shock to me. Like, oh wow, I'm actually not nervous, right? I'm pretty confident and like really like low-key about it. Like I just don't talk about my love life at all, ever, because there's nothing to say, there's nothing to talk about, right? It's pretty open and expansive, and I love to love. Like I can't help it, you know. I like cuddling up on my man. I like, you know, the affection. I like seeing where things flow and where things go, and so I don't necessarily feel nowadays as compelled or drawn to a relationship. Would it be nice to be with one person? Yes, but I know I would fail because I wouldn't want to commit for very long, and I would want new experiences, and I would feel very bored. I get bored very quickly, almost shockingly quickly, and it's almost like I need this. Why I work all the time, literally. I need that constant stimulation because I'm so bored, like all the time. And yeah, so that's why I hate Saturdays. Saturdays are like the worst. Like there's nothing to do. But anyway, guys, so let me tell you, I have nothing but love and respect to share for this person. I think I'm still talking to them. I don't really know, but probably not after this, right? Especially if they say this. But no, but like I said, there's no hard feelings, genuinely and authentically. This was just an experience. It was very short-lived, month and a half tops. To me, that's like nothing. Like nothing. It's very short-lived. But so I'm okay with it though. But yeah, so all I will say right now is that these experiences have been pretty disappointing so far. So am I too happy with these experiences? So long as I always remember to love the person even if I don't love them. Does that make sense? Like you can have love in your heart no matter what, through any situation, but you don't have to be with them, right? You can love a person, but you don't have to be committed in a relationship, and that's not my focus, you know. But I was surprised because that's not my focus anymore, and it's like it just hasn't worked out, you know. And people sometimes say, oh, you know, when you don't make it the focus, it works out, but that's not the case, right, this time around. And maybe I'm damaged goods, I don't know, because my last relationship really messed me up for a long time, as you guys know. I mean, I almost got married a couple years ago, so it's like a year and a half ago, so yeah, so I'm not necessarily open to love with someone else because, you know, I just had it and been there and done that, and I've had the most amazing, incredible experience and seen the most amazing places, and just, you know, the best. So like nothing really impresses me as it used to, and that's why I'm like there's this constant boredom with even dating. I'm like, so basically, to make a long story short, we started talking, right? And I was you know, doing the usual, asking the questions. I ask a lot of questions. Like, I honestly ask so many questions. I almost want the person to say, why are you asking me so many questions? And I like asking personal questions, right? Like, I like to go deep, and I have yet to have someone say that to me, like, hey, you ask so many questions. But I love it. I just love getting to know someone. I love absorbing all the information. I love watching their reactions on their face, observing them, their psychology. Like, I'm not a good person when it comes to eye contact when I'm talking. Like, when I talk, I can't do the eye contact thing. But when others talk to me, I'm like, I need you to give me some eye contact, baby. Like, okay. So this person was good at that. I think they were pretty confident and certain in themselves. And I find that a lot of people are who have like jobs. I don't have a job. I never worked a day in my life like for someone else besides either my family or myself. And so I don't know what that's like to go. Like, I only been to one job interview. I was like 16. Does that really honestly count? And like, no, like lack of confidence, like none whatsoever, probably non-existent, which is why they didn't hire me. And so I feel like just non-existent for me because I don't have that experience one-on-one, face-to-face with people that much. I mean, I talk to a camera for goodness sake, okay? And so it's just not the same, right? But no matter how comfortable, I mean, I'm like this with everyone in my family, like no matter how comfortable I'm with you, I cannot just talk to you like this, like I'm talking right now. No, I have to look up and like sideways, like, you know, people don't get that, like, about me, like, that is just who I am. It is what it is. I mean, I feel confident, but like, I don't feel confident to just look at you like this dead on and keep talking to you. It feels very robotic to me. It feels very stiff, weird, awkward. Anyway, what is that? Autism? I probably. Anyway, so moving on. So, but I don't want to say that because everyone's throwing that card around lately, like, oh, I'm autistic. I'm like, honey, shut up, okay? Anyway, maybe you are, but just shut up anyway. Right? It's like those people who say I'm bipolar, like, oh, shut the hell up, right? Okay. Even if you are, like, people are throwing that word around too much. I'm sorry, I'm warming up to this story because, like, I'm doing my best to word it with love. Okay. So I was happy that, you know, we were gonna meet up. I'm always the one that you talk to me first. I will never reach out to anyone unless they reach out to me first. It's a pride thing. It's firmly where I stand nowadays. I don't want to waste my time. If you are interested, show me. If not, get out. Okay? And I will not make plans ever unless you approach me making plans first. Okay? So, they kindly made plans, kindly approached me first, and that's that. So, I liked it already. I was like, this is going good, okay? And it was a solid connection. We kept talking back and forth for days and days and days before we started texting, right? And so, you guys remember this plant? It's so old. It probably has so much dust to it. So that's how I already knew, like, they're interested because they're replying to everything I'm saying, you know? It doesn't have to be this huge response. It can be just like a little response. That's enough to get me to reply back, you know? But I won't respond to, like, K or, you know, like, little, like, stuff like that. Like, really? Okay. That really shows you don't care and there's not much effort or love there. So it was pretty obvious this person already wanted a relationship. And that terrified me. I'm not gonna lie, it freaked me out because I'm like, oh, he's the first one after, you know, since 2 years since meeting the last one. Like, I'm not ready, you know. And so I wasn't upfront with that. That's my issue. I'm never, like, totally honest at first, like, totally upfront. I need to put my walls and my guard down first, until you can, you know, enter my heart. But once you do, you get a lot of love, honey boo boo, okay? But you just gotta work for it first. But, that's a Virgo thing, isn't it? We don't just trust anyone nowadays. But anyway, he was already like, yeah, so once we got into texting, he's already like, oh yeah, this has been my first date in a long time. The first date, excuse me. I said this is gonna be a date. Like, I didn't say that. See, that's my dishonest aspect of me I'm working on. And I just responded, yeah, it's been a while for me too. You know, nowadays, I don't even talk about my exes, nothing. Like, I don't even bother. I don't need to share who I've been with, what I've done. No, okay, I'm gonna start fresh like nothing happened and pretend like everything's okay when it's not. You know, you put your best self first, right? But man, people are not dumb. He picked up on something. I'm gonna get into it, but so at the same time, my ex comes back in the picture and we make peace after 4 years. My ex before this ex. And I'm like, oh boy, this is really what it's going down to, right? Like, I really am manifesting. That was the month I was manifesting like crazy. crazy, okay? These situations that haven't happened in since pre-2020, okay? And I'm like, am I really opening myself up to more love? Because then all of a sudden, even guys like on other platforms started reaching out, messaging me. I'm like, all of a sudden everyone's hitting me up. What is with my vibe? What has changed within me to make this happen? Yeah, to the point where I'm nowadays like, is someone gonna propose to me tomorrow? Like this, like to this day, still I'm getting like offers of love. Even one guy was like so into me, and then there was a day it was raining. It's always when I'm about to go on another date or a new experience, it rains. It freaking rains. It's weird. And it's like, there's even something else weirder. People always get sick around me. Either they die or they get sick. I'll go into that. It's weird. Why does my energy do that? I don't know. Okay. People, I think a healer actually once told me it's because I'm healing something within them. Because usually when you get sick, I know after Reiki, a lot of times you get a little bit sick after that, so it can like heal. But I can't explain the other part. Like, oh, anyway, I won't go there. But so I'm like, this guy was so mad because I said it was raining. Like we were having, Florida was that day was having a huge, almost like a subtropical storm, which was very unusual for that time of month. Everything's whack with the weather. If you're in Florida, you know weather, great. And so, I'm like, I'm not about to drive in 45-mile-an-hour winds, risk my life, and get stranded on a flooded road. There were floodings. There were like cars had to get abandoned. No, thank you, honey. No, thank you. And he's like, does the rain stop you from living your life and making plans? Oh, I'm so fed up with people on this app. He was like in his 40s, 50s probably, and he started going on a rant. I'm like, oh, block, delete. Okay, no, honey, that's not a good foot to start off on. And it got so awkward. I could have explained myself. I'm like, I'm not in that vibration anymore though, honey, to someone to mess with my energy like that, where I have to give my power away and explain myself to someone that doesn't get it. Like, I'm not driving half an hour to go see you and risk my life in a flat out. Like, the weather itself is a bummer. Like, who goes out on that kind of weather anyway? Are you really desperate for some peach? Like, are you that desperate? No, it wasn't personal. I just blocked, not because I was angry. I was just like, it doesn't work out. Don't interfere with my energy and my peace. Goodbye. Okay, so anyway, that was not the guy I'm talking about now, but like, oh Lord, like, it's been crazy. Alright, so yes, we end up making plans. We were gonna go make plans once, but again, the rain likes to make plans instead. You think you have plans, honey, the rain has plans too. So yeah, we had to wait till the next weekend because they work a 9 to 5, Monday through the Friday, all that good stuff. I'm gonna just say they're a dentist. It's one of those occupations, right? It's one of those occupations that works on the human body. Let's put it, but let's just say they're a dentist. It's pretty close though. Okay, not really close, but a similar part of the, it's close in proximity to a region of the body that needs work. At least once a year. Okay, so I was like, all right. I don't really care what someone's career is. I'll date you anyway. I really don't care. I could care less. It's about love. It's about the person I'm with. I don't care how much you make. This person up front, like, I mean, they said on the date, like, I am broke. Like, I'm choosing to live this way right now. I don't have monies. Even though I just fun. It's not a fun story time. All right, well, they still live with their family, and I'm like, all right, well, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. I was dating when I was still living with my family. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I kind of overlooked a lot. I was like, okay, and I shouldn't have, because again, realistically, it's hard to meet up with a guy if they're still with their parent, like, you know. But they're the same age. It's the first time I dated someone that's literally like the same age, just a few months back, right? Like a year younger, but only like a few months, not like the whole year, right? So like, it was actually exciting for me to be with someone that was like me, you know, resonated, vibe, like the same. But did we resonate, vibe? I don't know if we did. And so it was kind of just like me asking questions, and the thing I didn't like was they did not really ask about me that much. I always felt like I had to ask them more, or kind of like, you know, that feeling when you have to talk about yourself more because they're not really caring to ask, or they're only talking about themselves. Like, that's really it, you know. And unfortunately, that's all I've had so far, pretty much, is those experiences. And so it make me feel awkward, because even in conversation and text, I could tell like they just kind of made it about them. And I tend to overlook like the whole, like, people are always like, oh, you know, narcissists, you know. I don't want to judge or label, because we all are, myself included, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we really think about it on a deeper level. So, it was difficult to try to word things in the right way where we could not only keep the conversation going, but just get them to open up without having to always ask a question, right? Like, there's an art of communicating, and they say like you can't vibe with that right off the bat. It's supposed to flow, and it's hard to make it flow when it's the first time you're seeing someone. And I don't know how they felt about me. I assume they're attracted because they call me handsome and cute, and you know, I call them that as well. But like, in person, honestly, if I could, like, again, I'm not judging. I love a little bit extra. Like, that's just, I don't like someone skinny, or just like, not like, they need a little beef, okay? They need a little extra, and they had a little extra, and I liked it taller than I expected to. But then I'm like, oh boy, you know. I kind of looked at what I was wearing, and it was really nothing special. It was maybe a little nicer than what they were wearing, but they just, like, it's almost like, I mean, I didn't mind again, but it was just like no effort, really. Just like a ripped, almost dirty, like, t-shirt. I don't know if it was dirty, but it kind of looked like it. There were like some spots or something. And jeans that were ripped. Like, literally, I was like, like, super casual. I'm like, okay, this isn't a date, this is like a friendship thing, right? So this is where I always get confused, where I don't really know where someone has me. And anyway, so I'm gonna call them the ghosts from Christmas past, because this was around Christmas, and I felt ghosted by the end of this. All right. I'm glad it was short-lived, because I would have just been so stressed about it. But I kind of already wasn't interested upon first meeting them. Like, you could tell by a person's eyes, and they had, although their zodiac sign tends to have these kind of eyes, they had nothing there, let's put it that way. And that already was like a little off-putting to me, because I didn't feel any depth, or like there was anybody behind those eyes, if you know what I'm talking about. And I think you do. And that was a little scary. When I looked into them deeper, it actually scared me, and I had that weird gut feeling. And I'm surprised I didn't capture this feeling while communicating with them, because I should have, because the conversations were not that deep to begin with, so I should have known. But there was no like passion. It was just like, I don't even think I'm portraying it right. It was just like nothing. Like, it looked kind of angry too. There was a little look he gave me that kind of looked really angry and aggressive, and that reminded me of my ex, and that kind of made me uncomfortable to look at him. Again, eyes are the windows to the soul. Take what you will of that, but there was never inner communication was very shallow. It was very just simple, and that's was really made me lose interest, to be honest with you. And so I'm already kind of like, I kept my cool, thankfully, but it was weird because, like, you know, when I hear someone say they're broke or they don't have money, I'm automatically like, okay, I'm gonna pay for this date, okay, I'm gonna pay for lunch. But I didn't say it until the end. I didn't even say anything actually about it. You know, I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like less than, right? So I just didn't want to make it a big deal. It was like, what, $80, whatever. So I was like, I paid for our meal after we're done chatting. And he's like, oh, you paid, do you want us to split it? And after he said that, after I already paid and put the card away, like no, it's fine. I paid for it. I just said, like, I just paid for it. He's like, oh, thank you. I didn't say anything. Like, I didn't know how to respond to that, really. There was nothing to say. I think he just kind of stared at me blankly. Blankly, that's the right word. Blank stare. Like, just... Whew. Yeah, I don't know if you ever noticed that about people, but look in people's eyes. But anyway, so, my intuition, I feel like he's had a past that was painful and doesn't want to talk about it, and he's been hurt before, and, I definitely looked up their Facebook. Like, I do that, like, nowadays. You know, when you text someone new, you'll see their first and last name in the text message a lot of times. And so I looked that up, and I'm the type of person, I will look up where you live. I will see your living situation. I will see when you sold that house. I will research everything, okay, on Google, and I want to make sure they didn't lie about where they live. They didn't lie about their work. They didn't lie about that they had an ex a week ago before me. I don't want to even freaking see that like they was with an ex within the last 6 months, because they probably in the picture still, that they still in a relationship, that they married, okay? Because again, been there, done that, not making that same mistake twice. I used to be so trusting, so forgiving, so easygoing, and yeah, that leads to pain every time. And so they basically cleared all the red flags for me, nothing but green flags. Okay, but then when we got into this car hunting, all of a sudden they wanted to go Christmas shopping for their whole family. Like, I had to go, I had to bounce, I'm in a hurry. They knew I had to go, and we had to go shopping. So I'm like, oh boy, Jesus, look, I want to spend time with you. But all of a sudden, I'm like, what's that smell? And I'm like, child, it's them. Oh, it's them. They didn't even shower before the date. I was like, I was trying so, like, my eyes were watering. Like, I don't know if I ever smelled this smell. Like, I felt like crying. But, like, I was so, that made me kind of sad, because I'm like, wow, I showered, I put deodorant and cologne, I put effort and, like, energy, and, like, they didn't even bother. That shows how much they care. So, you know, I felt like, this is what I don't appreciate with a lot of men. Like, they're not upfront. They tell me we're going on a date, and then they don't act like it. And this is the confusion. This is the confusion I don't appreciate. Look, we all smell. We're all rotting slowly, right? But, well, people always say I smell good. I never had anyone tell me I smell bad. But anyway. So, I'm glad I don't even remember that scent, because I'm sorry, that was a turn off for me. Like, that was a no. Like, in terms of dating, I'm not superficial. Like, I could care less. Like, but I'm like, the first time, and you showed up to her, like, you just came off of work, or you just, they did not was the morning into the afternoon. They were not working that day. They had time. They knew what time. I'm a planner. Nowadays, no more of that spontaneous crap. No more come over my house randomly at no, because people cancel. But that happened to me the other day. Someone's like, oh, come over. And then they cancel. I'm like, oh. Which, whatever. I'm grown. I'm getting over it. But it's still upsetting. It hurts. I don't like that. But I don't think anyone does, right? Like, if you made plans, you knew what time. And then, all of a sudden, you just forgot. Like, oh, come on. Really? So it's been nothing but disappointment lately, guys. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. But anyway, and so, y'all, it felt like we had children, and we had to go shopping for children. I felt married. I kid you not. I'm like, is he taking things so fast now that we're already married in like an hour? Like, we're in the middle of Walmart, in the kids aisle, in the toy aisle. And then not only that, someone recognized me. I didn't know they did until they told me after I got home. They said, oh, I saw you at Walmart. And now they're going to be talking on the blog forums that I'm dating some new boo-boo. No, honey. That's not my boo-boo. Let me tell you something. Anyway. So let me move right along. So now all of a sudden I have to choose which toys. And I'm like, because they don't know which toys to get. So now I'm acting like husband number 2, picking for child number 3, which Christmas toy. For their niece or nephew or whatever, I don't even know anymore. I forgot. So we pick the toys and we get out of there. And he's like, oh, I need to go buy some Christmas cards. I'm like, all right. Mister, I don't have money. All right. He already done spent $100 on toys and what have you not. And we're about to, I'm like, oh, these are some nice ones. So we walk around, we take our time really looking at it. And then he's like, all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, I'm not going to buy Christmas. So you knew I had to go, and you took an extra 20 minutes. He's like, I don't have the money. I'm like, they're only $1 here. They're like $1 for 5. He's like, no, I'm good. Okay. So then we bounce, and we pay, and we leave, and then this is also weird lately. I'm noticing people are not comfortable sharing their car on the first date. It's like there's this shame, this guilt, this embarrassment, which I still to this day is beyond me. I don't understand that feeling at all. Of like you entering their car and seeing how dirty it is. I really could care less. Like, I don't want to say it to their face like that the first time because that'll scare them, but like, I just don't care. Like, it's a tool to get you from point A to point Q, okay? And I'm like, I'd rather probably smell the stench of the car than have that waft in my nose a little bit more than those pits that you didn't even put or it maybe was deodorant, but it smells so bad. Oh my God. It's like rotting Old Spice. It's like, but worse, without the cinnamon. Anyway, so I don't know. It's like, and you have a decent car, and it's like there's this shame. It's like, God forbid I see your license plate and find out where you live. Honey, I already know before I go see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my ways. I know how to research things. But look, no. So I'm like, like, what are you doing later, I was like, oh, just gonna hang out with a friend. Later comes, oh, I didn't end up going. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. It's not like it interfered with my plans because I had plans already. I had things to do. I had places to go. It was the holidays, right? And not only that, that food from that place, we're just gonna call it Red Lobster. It wasn't Red Lobster, but it was one of those kind of places like Chili's, Applebee's, whatever. Heartburn. And that was already like, this is not good for you. That was already a red flag because that place never gave me heartburn. And now it gave me heartburn, and I'm like, it was probably from stress, or probably low-key because stress gets it first more than the food. So and then they had heartburn, and then they were telling me how bad they had it. I was like, ooh. And then I felt like something we could finally relate to, and then all of a sudden, silence. When I tell you, oh no, let me tell you something. We went to the mall after. We went to the mall, and then this was all in like 2-3 hours. Bam, 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 fast. And then there was this like stand of crystals, right? I love crystals, as you obviously are aware by now, and I respect that if someone doesn't share the same, this way it's the point of a date. You get to know someone to see, do you like the same thing? Are we gonna be boo-boos? Do you like and appreciate the same things I enjoy and like? Clearly nothing. Like, he comes from a background that, no, like, I assume stones are bad mentality, right? But anyway, so that's fine. Again, no judgment there. It's not for everyone's cup of tea, even though Heaven's Gates were built with chrysocolla and lapis lazuli, but that's another tale for another time. And gold, all that's crystals, all that's our stones. Anyway. So, blank dead. Like, I can feel, I don't need to look you in the eye to know if something is awkward or uncomfortable. I could tell, I could feel through his silence, through his just blankness, his like just stance, his body position, that he had no interest whatsoever. He was just like, oh. And I was like, oh, I like this. Ooh, this is pretty. And then he was more interested in going to the damn jewelry shop. Why do men do that? Like, they run to the jewelry shop acting as if they're gonna buy you that ring already. And then we went to the hot tub shop. I was like, well, we're gonna buy a hot tub together, right? You just bought a house. Ooh. And you're gonna buy a hot tub now. So I'm like, chill. So you already making plans like we married. At least engaged. So I thought it was cute. I thought that was a special moment, a special connection we had. Like, we both kind of shared that, but that was only like material possession stuff, right? Like, that's not like something that keeps a relationship lasting long term, you know what I'm saying? So we were talking to the manager, whoever there was in there, doing their little greeting and showing us around a little bit, and it felt like we were we were about to buy a hot tub together. Literally, I kid you not, like, he had a hypnotizing way to state. Franklin, I call him, like, I almost bought a hot tub, guys. Like, I don't even have a screen on my backyard. I don't have the pavers enough to put, like, well, maybe I have enough to put one, but that would look weird. But anyway, I don't have the permit through the county yet. Like, I would need to do that first. And then I almost bought a hot tub, guys. That's how. Because they're so cheap. They're so much cheaper than they were. Like, the biggest one was like $17,000. That's nothing. This thing was huge. It's like the size of an Olympic swimming pool. Like, this thing, not literally, but almost, it looked like it. Okay, it was humongous. Like, it looked like those party ones with like I am almost sure you can fit 25-30 people in that one and still have room to swim and float. But anyway, the cheapest one was like only $2.5. I'm like, oh my god, I could literally, walk out of here with this one right now, right? So, y'all, he was gonna bring up that if I wanted to buy a hot tub. I'm like, are you kidding me? On a first date? Tempting, but no. So we walked out of there, and then I hit up this one shop that was my favorite. And again, it was like, oh, I want to go see this store because I really like it. I haven't been here in a while. Can we go? And again, it's just that very dead, blank, like lack of like, okay, like not sure, or like some enthusiasm or some spark in your step or life in your bones. Like nothing was there. And so I went. I don't care about anyone's opinion. I do what I do, right? Like, I don't need you to tell me what, like, I definitely don't want a man to tell me what to do. No, okay. I'm not having that. And so, we went, yeah, and he liked what was inside, and I guess he considered it a good idea. And I bought something from there I really liked. There are a bunch of like old ladies working in that store, and so yeah, so you know, he was kind of off on his own, looking at his own things, and all of a sudden he started looking at the knives section. I'm like, oh, I said I don't like knives, and again, just that blank, no response. Like, I felt like anytime I shared something, like he didn't know what to say. So I'm like, okay, is he just shy? Is he nervous? Is he sweating in the car because he's nervous to be around me? Am I making him uncomfortable? A lot of people say I'm very intense, and they get nervous around me, and they think like, they just get nervous. I don't know what it is. So when that energy is not right, you know, for it to work, both people have to be comfortable. And I was comfortable with him, but he wasn't maybe as comfortable with me, although he didn't really show it, or he was good at hiding it. And so I already saw the red flags, because all of a sudden it looked like I had to be the one paying for stuff. Because honey, if you don't got money, then I know what this is about. I gotta. And all of a sudden he's bringing up, oh, have you ever been on a cruise ship? I'm like, of course I went to Sweden and Finland. Okay, well, I haven't. I would like to go. I'm like, so now you expected me to pay for this cruise ship trip, and I have just met you. I didn't say that, but I was like already, it felt like my ex. I'm like, oh my god, this is already another situation where I have to be paying for some trips. And I played it off. I was like, yeah, okay, you know, I kind of just pretended, went along with it. I'm like, I'm not really into going on floating petri dishes, but you know, it would be nice maybe once to go with a friend, you know. I kind of said that. Like, I think I even accidentally said friend, like, you know, and maybe that really kind of like brushed him off, because at this point I was not interested anymore. And through the text message and conversations after the date, I was like, no, I'm not interested. I didn't say it, but it's pretty obvious with, like, he wasn't flirting with me. We were talking like we just met again, all over again. The conversations were dry, cold, not relevant, not really. And all of a sudden, it stopped. A day after talking, it stopped completely, dry, dead. And he was always the one hanging out with friends. He first told me, again, this is the confusion I don't like about a lot of men. He first told me that when I said, like, I don't have that many friends in the area, I'm kind of a loner, like, you know, it's just, you know, what it is, everyone's far away. And so he was like, oh, me too, they live together. But I kid you not, he hung out with his friends every single day after. When you ask each other, what you're doing today, how are you doing, how are you feeling, every day was a different friend. I'm like, I thought, again, I didn't say it, but I thought you said that your friends were far like mine and they couldn't go, and all of a sudden you hang out with a new person every day. First this person named Chris, another Jessica, whoever the hell. And a family friend of his bumped into us at the mall with their children, and I'm like, how many people do you know? So that immediately, I don't like that. Like, I don't like when people know too many people. I like small circle people, because they have the most discernment. Like, if you know too many people, you always with those other people and not enough with me. That does not work. That does not work out for me in a relationship. I have needs. I have standards. No, thank you. If you know everybody, because you're gonna end up going with that person, and then, hanging out with them and getting to know someone else new, and all of a sudden you lose interest. Like, if you are with too many people, not always, but this is my, like, belief or fear, and I get jealous. I'm like rising Scorpio. I get envious, I get resentful, and I don't like when my man is with someone else all the time. It's okay once in a while, but like, introduce me to them, and allow me to hang out with you. No, never once after the date even bother to ask me, take me, go with me. But joke's on them. 3 days later, my ex came over, and to make a long story short, one thing led to another, and yeah, so I didn't really feel guilt about that, because let me tell you something, I do a lot of tarot readings, okay? There's a lot of people, like myself included, who have situationships, get into sticky love life situations, that there's no judgment, okay? But I did not see that coming, okay? I haven't been with this man for 4 years, and all of a sudden, yeah, so I'm like, I just went on a date, and 3 days later, I'm with this ex all over again, so but then I'm like, wait a minute, how come at the same time this Franklin dude is not messaging me at all 3 days in a row? Then I'm like, all right, I hope everything's okay, like, how are you doing? All of a sudden, they take a whole nother day to respond, and they're saying they're sick, they're not feeling well. I go on their Facebook, sick, and thanking their friend for taking him to a movie. Okay. Always trust the dead eye stare. Always trust the dead eye stare. Meaning you can't trust them. Okay. So I was like, oh, you sick, huh? You sick, huh? Okay. Alright. Well, anyway. Me and my ex are not getting back together. No, that was just a thing, and it happened so fast. And one thing leads to another before you know it. So, was it cheating? No, because I'm not dating this person. I'm not even friends with. At this point, they're not even talking. So we have nothing. So I can be with who I want to be with. So I did bring it up with my ex, but they were like, "Okay, this is really none of my business. I don't need to know." I'm like, "Okay." But at least they're respectful and decent and courteous enough to not really care who I'm with. But yeah, we go way back. So when you go back with your ex, it hits different. It hits a soft spot in you that it brings up memories. Cause we were a good couple, but anyway. So moving aside here, so then after a while, they start being more open to communicating again. So after they're sick, I may or may not have driven past and double checked to see if they were there. Ooh, did I say that? No, I didn't. You didn't hear that from me. But anyway, so maybe they were, but you know what? Why come you can't text me and you still go to the movies? Like, that doesn't make no damn sense. So I was like, this is not already deception, lies. I cannot be with this person right now. And I honestly was like, I can't even be friends with you in my head, right? In my head. Because if I catch you in a lie while we're dating, you're not going to be a good friend, right? And especially if I'm slightly attracted to you, which I was with this person, I can't be friends with you anyway. Because it's just going to end up like me and my 4 years ago ex, right? Like, we're just kind of floating in blank space. It's just nothing. It's not even really a friendship. It's just like, oh, you come over when you want to watch a show or something. Like, it's literally just that now. Yeah. So I probably have to move on from that to really find a proper connection. Otherwise, that energy is still with you. You kind of remain in that energy. And so all of a sudden, the other day, I'm like, how's your day? Nothing. 2 days now, no reply. Block, delete, goodbye, good riddance. So I'm done with that connection. So that was the story with that person. I don't know what the heck that was about. How you can tell someone's using you, the things they talk about and bring up on the first day. I'm telling you, gonna buy a hot tub and go on a cruise. What, you want me to bring the hot tub on the cruise? If I look like to you. And when I was like, we were in Monterey, I was like, oh, that golf cart is only $8,000. He was like, only. I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry. Like, we are two separate worlds, separate minds. Like, I can't with you. Like, and I'm like, he looked at me with judgmental attitude. Like, what do you mean only? I'm like, you know they go for 10, 12 up, right? I'm talking compared to those prices. 8 is nothing. 8 is still substantial. Even for me, but I'm like, it's nothing compared to those prices. No, nothing. No response. Blank. I'm like, I cannot have a partner like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like talking to a wall. Like, I can't. Anyway, so I hope they find peace. I hope they find someone. I truly mean it, because I feel like there's someone there for them. Overall, I feel like they're a good person. They just, dating is not the answer, right? I know that. I understand that. This was just like for fun, a fling to me. Like, we didn't even kiss. Nothing. Like, we just ended on a hug. That's it. Like, nothing. Like, this was nothing, right? But I just wanted to talk about it. Now, there's other situations. I may do another story time for another time. I'm going to see where things go with because there's currently two people right now. I'm like, in the midst of seeing where it goes. And I'm like, we gonna see how that goes down. One of those things is not too hot right now. Let's just say that was the one that canceled plans on me last minute. But we gonna see where that takes us. Cause I don't even want it to at this point in life, I don't really care. I'm like, when you attracting, you're gonna attract anyway. You know, there's always gonna be something for some occasion, some situation. At this point, I'm like, I want that person for this occasion. That's my cuddle buddy. That right there's my date buddy. That right there's my travel buddy. Like, I want that. That's what I want. I don't want, 3 potential partners, dates. Nah. The desire is dead, gone, obliterated. Will it maybe come back maybe someday and resuscitate? Who the heck knows and who the heck cares? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed this story time. And you got it piping hot. So yeah, the ghost of Christmas past, and now he ghosted me. He's not responding to my text. So I think deep down he knows, like, he's more intuitive than he thinks. I don't know how people do it. Like, they just know. You notice that about people lately? Like, they just know without knowing. They're gonna put me out of business. Everybody's gonna be starting being a psychic tarot reader now. I'm playing. Oh, this plant is itchy. It keeps poking at me. Thank you guys. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, tap the bell, hit all notifications if you want more story time. I will spill more tea. You'll see more tea. Okay, eventually. And check out TonyBomboni.com if you would like to book your own service from me. You have a problem you're facing, a crisis, a midlife crisis, a quarter life crisis, a third life crisis. You're going through financial issues or love issues or fights or friendship issues. You want to know if someone's cheating on you. Honey, I answer all those questions for you. Tarot reading, TonyBomboni.com. I offer other services as well if you want to go ahead and check out. I love you all so much and I'll see you next time.